You're beautiful. You're unique. And I wish this was an ad for Carmex. Wait, Carmex! Welcome to the Caffeinated Podcast. I'm BUBBZI. He's the beard. As you can tell, this is the show where positivity is the goal, but chaos is definitely the process. Carmex,
Y'all gonna have to help me.
if you want to sponsor us, feel free. But we are highly caffeinated. Actually, not really. I just am now starting the first cup of the day. Brought to you by the wonderful Coffeetarian. Oh my gosh. So this is probably more of slap happiness, but I think the beard has at least had one cup of coffee today.
Yeah, I've had a couple today, which is normal.
Lucky.
I wasn't that way on Thursday. You know, we told everybody that, we come on here and we gotta try to find something to talk about and we share our lives with you. Thursday, I didn't get my first cup of coffee till about 1:00.
Yeah.
Which is, anybody that knows me knows that
Abnormal.
I make coffee. I drink coffee. That's kind of how my day starts on a regular basis. But I woke up Thursday morning and was having chest pains. Right? I know, fun. And I'm not one for going to the emergency room. I'm not one really that likes to go to a doctor for anything because, well, I've been poked and prodded too much and I just don't enjoy the process. But Mama Beard took me to the emergency room and they ran a bunch of tests. And thank God I did not have any kind of heart attack or any heart issues per se. But somehow, and I don't know if it was just a culmination of things that I'd done earlier and stretching wrong when I woke up, but somehow I managed to pull a muscle deep in my chest that was causing me not to be able to breathe and feel like I was having a heart attack. So if you see me grabbing my chest today, that is why, because, well, how do I say this, Bubs? I picked a topic, or we picked a topic that kind of brings out the inner child in everybody. And we'll talk about that more in a minute, but I'm going to suffer for this one, y'all. That's what I'm going to say. So please like, share, subscribe.
You should have seen some of the, because like we said, we always have a funny moment at the beginning of these things. Sometimes they're very difficult to get. Sometimes I have loads.
He has creative block sometimes.
We went through a number of like, hey, we could do this for the funny moment. We could do that for the funny moment. Let's just say he was in a lot of pain. Probably what made this one worse was that I held up the back of the tube the first time. See, when I did the practice, I had the first one correct, but I looked into the camera because I do have myself here, the beard over here, just so I can make sure that we are communicating as we should. Everything is correct. And I saw the back. I was like, okay. So.
Not sure if what we do is actually considered communicate, but
we speak in a very varying degrees of noises and hope that the other understands.
Yeah.
Some may call it gibberish. I call it speech. But
we're kind of like dolphins. We speak our own language. We understand it, but not everybody does.
Yeah.
So, but the simple thing is, guys, just like I said, we've had a interesting little week for me. And we're just glad to be back. We enjoy doing this. I'm going to ask you straight out in advance that I'm hoping to get some comments from you all on this one. And when I give you the title, you'll understand why.
By the way, speaking of just random brain functionalities and gibberish, you mentioned dolphins, and the only thing that popped into my head was the old Nickelodeon show H2O, where it was a bunch of mermaids that if they were exposed to any amount of water, they grew a tail. So they tried to live a human life, but like somebody would spill like orange juice on them, and then they're just running and jumping off the pier. Like, this is absolutely normal. No one will question us. I don't know why, but that's where we're at. If you remember that show.
Vaguely remember that. Vaguely, not completely, but vaguely.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. Speaking of Nickelodeon shows, I was a big fan of Icarly. I'm pretty sure my father was Spencer's father. Okay? It's just, he reminds me of Spencer, and I'm like, well, except for the whole butter thing. That was a little
much. Yeah.
Yeah, like the time he made an entire sculpture out of butter in his kitchen.
There's other people that do that, but I'm not one of those.
Yeah.
Well, BUBBZI, I know we're just kind of sharing the week a little bit, and as we speak right now, where we are, the snow is coming down heavily.
Fast.
And I don't mean heavy as in great massive amounts, because I don't know how much we're going to get. I mean, the snow is so heavy that you can hear it smacking the ground. That's what I mean by heavy.
Yeah. I think the last time I looked, we were expected to get anywhere between like 4 to 6 inches, not exceeding over 7 inches. Which still is nothing to laugh off in a lot of situations, especially in Kentucky. There are a lot of hills. People get off the roads trying to go up hills in weather conditions such as this.
Or down hills, and they don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, and since we're talking about the weather, I'll just say this. If you live somewhere that it snows, and if it's you, when you hear this, depending on whatever age is, or if you've got children that are going to be driving in possible snow, then by all means, take them out into a huge empty parking lot somewhere and teach them how to drive the car they're going to be driving in the snow if it slides.
Or snow tires. That's also a good option.
Yeah. Well, snow tires help too, but sometimes even snow tires don't help. I mean, things happen, and, just that's kind of what I did. Every time I got, when I had my first car, I went out and did the same thing in the middle of the night. When I got my first front wheel drive, I went out and did it the same thing, learned how to do a skid and take it out of it, because rear wheel drive and front wheel drives are different. So I just highly recommend it. Plus it's fun to go out and just do it. If you can do it without getting arrested. I'm just saying.
I was about to say, didn't a cop show up to you one time?
He did. He was really mad when he first got there. And he asked me, "What do you think you're doing?" He was just all puffed up and mad. And I explained to him it was my first car, and I wanted to know how to handle it in case something happened in the snow. Empty parking lot, 2:00 in the morning. There was nobody around but me. But of course, somebody had seen me do it and complained, or, somebody's doing donuts in the parking lot, which I was, but intentionally, And he was a nice policeman. After that, he said, "Well, you can't really be doing that." He said, "But I won't be back for another 30 minutes. Just make sure you're gone." And left. That's how it ended. But anyway, Buzz, we could go on forever with all the stories about snow and stuff like that, but we probably better tell them about our headlining sponsor this week and talk a little bit about our other sponsor. This week, ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, we're going to be talking about CustomBeardCo.
CustomBeardCo, yeah.
Oh, I know. We need to come up with a good
jingle.
What do you call it? A jingle? Yeah.
By the way, I almost killed the beard earlier with aggressive jazz hands, just to make that entirely
Yes, he did. I left. So, it hurt. I ain't gonna lie.
Aggressive jazz hands.
But let's jump into it, BUBBZI, and if you don't mind, I'll get you to do the warning again, because you do it so much better than me. And but CustomBeardCo, also known as CBC. And do you love your beard, or do you love someone who has a beard? Do you love high quality beard and skin products? Well, then you've come to the right place. At CustomBeardCo, you matter. CustomBeardCo makes high quality beard oils, beard butters, beard balms, and whipped body butters for your beard and your skincare regimen. They make custom scents such as the Outlaw, which is our personal favorite around here at the moment, Executor, Forest Frost, and others. They also rotate other custom scents in from time to time, just to make you, the customer, happy and see if they can find something new for you all to enjoy. Now, all the products are 100% organic and contain no chemicals or dyes, and everything is made to order. Now, what that means is there's no sitting around on the shelves. It's not just sitting there for months and months. When you call or go to the website and do your order, they make it then, and then they send it out. They also provide free shipping. All right, Bubs, lay the warning on them.
Warning, CustomBeardCo uses 100% all natural ingredients, which, even though there's no chemicals, may still cause skin irritation for some. So always be ready to test a little on the inside of your forearm.
Yeah, someplace out of the way, just in case, because there's, some people just have sensitive stuff, and it's going to happen. So when you head over to CustomBeardCo.com to check out their awesome products, if you're going to grab some for yourself, maybe you're going to give them a gift. Whatever you do, check out at checkout, type in Caffeinated Beard, and you get 15% off any order, $15 or more. Now, if you'll scroll down on the page a little bit, you'll see there is that there's Beard Blog. You can go in there and give to their charity of this time, which is they're doing the entity sent any of that brought proceeds of that is going to the American Cancer Society. There's also a link on there that you can just straight out give straight to the Cancer Society from there. We made it, Bubs.
By the way, the whole thing I did right, like the forum thing, that reminds me of what is it? The gosh, I need to look this up. Like Maui Mori, it's one of the, I believe, the Hawaiian.
You're talking like the haka or something, haka move or what?
Close to that. But there's like a specific one where like females do like this frown, men will stick their tongue. It's like the gosh, I can't remember what it is.
We'll look it up sometime.
So do apologize, but that's what it reminded me of. Like a lot of power.
That's okay. No, that's what we're here, right?
By
we're here
the way,
about the things that pop into our crazy mind. Before you say that, hang on to your thought. I just want to remind them also to check out our other great sponsor and go over to coffeetarian.store. They have some of the best coffee I have ever tasted. And BUBBZI himself will tell you I am a coffee snob. So if you go over there and you check out their stuff, at checkout, type in Beard, BEARD, and you will save 10% off your first coffee order. And plus, proceeds of that will go to the charity of the month, which I believe right now is still Sunrise Children's Homes. So, all right, BUBBZI, what was you going to say?
Well, first of all, we need to get you a stamp that has like a beard on it, like a bearded stamp of approval.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. It's like you've been beard approved.
All right. So,
but what was the other thing? By the way, big old Hawaiian dudes scare the crap out of me. First of all, you should not be able to be that calm and that intimidating. Just saying.
That's what makes them that intimidating. I mean, come on.
I know, but like, I also like. Please share your hair tips. Like, please. That was about it. First of all, intimidating. Second of all, I'm jealous. Third of all, let's be friends.
Right. Always. So, I told you that, we've always told you that we like to make you laugh, hopefully make you smile, make your day just a little bit better in some shape, form, or fashion. And this particular topic came off of a suggestion from someone at church, and we were just talking about different things, and they kind of threw it out, and it kind of landed in my brain and stuck, and I couldn't get rid of it.
And then it grew and grew.
And then it grew, as some of the things we're going to talk about tend to do.
It was like the Grinch. Worse. It was like the Grinch when he saved Christmas. It grew like 3 times too large.
So
what this did.
The title today is called It's Gas. Do you see where we're going so far? We're going to talk about burps and farts. We're going to talk about gas. I mean, after all, guys, it is all natural. Now,
all natural.
Mama Beard said we had to put some of the more of the facts in it. So, one of the things on our list is, where does it start? What causes it?
Well, first of all, it comes from your body. You're welcome. That's facts.
Then we thought we might hit a few fun facts that you may not know. And let's be honest, you may not really want to know, but it's part of it.
The thing that worries me the most is we're going to, I believe you have attempted, or we are going to attempt to help classify farts, which is what worries me possibly the most.
Not necessarily classifies the right name, but I have found some interesting names for farts. That's why one of the things is funny names. And one of the things I put is it's embarrassing. Now, I'm sure some, I'm not going to say all, maybe I'm just overly confident. Maybe it's just me, but I know there have to be some embarrassing stories about the passage of wind at certain times. And I've got a couple that I'm going to share. BUBBZI has some, he may share his, I don't know. But what I'm hoping especially is to get a few hundred, maybe. I'm pleading, I'm begging, because I like the fact that you all laugh with us, and quite frankly, I just want to laugh with you. But that's kind of it in a nutshell, Bubs. we're going to talk about the all natural things that happen because of gas.
We're going to talk about the all natural gas.
Natural gas, the oldest natural gas that we know of, because it took them a long time to actually find it in the earth. You know, never mind. I was going to say, can you imagine if they have cars that run off of this, they have cars that run off of electricity. Can you imagine if somebody put a filter in your seat and every time you went, huh? You got an extra 2 or 3 miles to the gallon? I'm just saying, could be interesting. For those of you that can't see the look I'm getting right now, he's just like, I don't even know how to respond to that.
My father, ladies and gentlemen.
So anyway,
this is going to be the pot. No. If I have to introduce you to anybody anymore, it's like, yeah, you remember that bearded fellow? No, I was like, watch this. What if there was an adapter in your car seat that when you farted give you gas?
Well, I mean, come on. I mean, it just, you know.
Everybody would be having soup bean night on the daily because gas is expensive.
I'm sure some of our politicians would be happy. They want to get us away from, you know, petrol. They want us, you know, they don't want us to be coal-based or anything like that.
No, because they'd have to have an adapter for their mouth because they're full of hot air, okay?
Yeah, let's go. But anyway, let's be honest. This topic, and if you watch TikTok or YouTube or anything, you'll see the kids. This topic brings out the child in some of the most normal, straight-laced adults. I mean, after all, it was not a child who came up with the gag, goes, hey, buddy, come here and pull my finger. It was not a child. It was an adult. So I'm just going to start it because I found a little fun fact sheet that I thought was interesting, and it talks about where flatulence, farts, come from. Okay, it says farting is the act of passing intestinal gases. They can sometimes be odorless, hopefully, and sometimes deathly. But do you know why you pass gas? Do you know why you farts are sometimes as loud as a blowhorn or as quiet as a mouse? It just depends on what caused it. I mean, I'm going to go through a list here in a little bit about some foods that actually cause gas. Now, BUBBZI, I'm assuming that if you found anything on the burps, the upper level of this gas-powered podcast, that it's probably something similar as the reason that we do that?
I wasn't able to find a whole lot just because we added burps kind of last second, but I have a feeling what it is. It's the excess gas that isn't able to be processed and that isn't caused by the breakdown of the nutrients within the stomach. So it's probably gas that is excess that goes off of the top instead of being actually processed and absorbed through the body and then let out the other way.
I think both are. Yeah, I think you're right about that because one of the things is, you know, flatulence, which is the name for, you know, farts. It says it's a production, a mixture of air and gases in the digestive tract that are a byproduct of the digestive process. It means as it starts processing the food, this is the byproduct that is left over. And sometimes, you know, it's just got to find a place to go.
Well, I have a feeling like with burps, like it's things like people who drink obviously like carbonated sodas and things like that. But I would assume it also has to do with the inhalation of oxygen into your stomach, which it's not supposed to go that way. But obviously, when you're eating things and you're eating, it's coming from the same kind of hole. Just instead of going towards the lungs, it goes towards the stomach. So that taking in that extra air, it needs to be released.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, now I've got a little breakdown over here, and I thought this was kind of interesting. It says the average fart is 59% nitrogen, 21% hydrogen, 9% carbon dioxide, 7% methane, 3% oxygen, and 1% just everything else. So
it's basic, just air.
Yeah, it's just gases. It's stuff. It's got to go. I mean, come on. We've all been there where we eat too much or we ate too much of one thing or another. And, you know, we call it politely in society, oh, I feel so bloated. Right. You know, and, you know, I'm just going to say it. Years ago, long before Mama Beard, I dated this young lady. She was gorgeous. She was, you know, she was a nice young lady. But I'm going to tell you right now, when she ate, has anybody ever heard the Jake brake on a semi go off? You know what I'm talking about? When they're trying to, they got a heavy load and they set the Jacobson brake and he goes, okay, that was it. The girl was 5 foot nothing. She could blow your hat off. I'm just saying it was something else. So, but I mean, you know, it has to be done. I mean, you know, the old saying is there's more room outside than there is in, right? You were smiling, you started to say something. What were you going to say?
Well, there's just something that I've heard that since we brought up this topic keeps coming up and and over and over and over again in my head. It's the conversation that I'm sure has happened with multiple people multiple times, but that deaf people don't understand that farts make a sound.
Well, that would make kind of sense.
Yes, but there's also been the thing where they've made it into like their 20s and 30s without knowing this, and they've never been told until they did it in public, and it was quite loud, and one of their friends had to explain it to them. And then just the sudden realization of like, oh my gosh, that makes sound.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, well, I could see where that's a problem. You know, I did hear a joke a long time ago, said the man and his wife were sitting in church. They're both up about in their 90s, and the wife leans over and goes, honey, I just let out a silent fart. What should I do? He turns around and looks at her and he goes, change the batteries in your hearing aid. Oh. But anyway, hopefully you're already laughing. So, I mean, because I'm hurting myself here. You know, again, it brings out the small child in me. And now also on this empty sheet, Bubs, how many times do you think most people pass wind? See, I use the play term in a day's time.
10 plus.
10 plus? Yeah. I would have thought a whole lot more, but they say the average person passes wind about 14 times a day. So all you people out there telling you know, your significant other, I don't do that. Fibber. Liar, liar, pants on fire.
Fibber.
Now, and I will say this, if your pants are on fire, you do not want to fart because they are flammable.
If your pants are on fire, I would recommend changing them unless you like the heating sensation or if it's cold outside.
Right.
So,
well, and again, guys, I'm trying to make fun of it a little bit. I mean, I saw some of this stuff and it just made me laugh and I had to share it. I mean, did you know that, BUBBZI, that farts come out of your backside at 7 miles per hour?
I feel like that's an underestimation.
Well, you know, it makes me feel better because I always joke that sometimes I'd pass wind when I was getting up and I said I needed the extra propulsion to get up. I could be right. I'm just saying.
Oh, gosh.
He's just looking at me like I need to call the nursing home tomorrow. You know?
Oh, well, no. The funny part was they were making fun of me or something earlier. Because we were talking through things, trying to get something to record. And I don't remember what they said, but they were ragging on me a little bit. And I'm like, I'm thinking of threats. And the only threat that kept coming in my head is like, I can call home. I was like, I can call home.
Now, with all the craziness and all the things that happen because of passing gas, I feel like I need to share this particular fact off the sheet before we move on.
A little bit of fact
because it just, you know, people might be feeling a little bit guilty and bad about, you know, gas, but I just want you all to know you cannot suffocate in a chamber full of your own gas. Yeah.
It's because it has oxygen in it.
I guess. Now
it's not gonna smell or taste good. I can. Oh.
Yeah. Well, here, let me do this. I want to give these Gaseous Foods. All right. Beans, duh. Right.
Yeah,
Corn, bell peppers, cauliflower, cabbage, milk, bread, eggs, beer, raisin, Brussels sprouts, lentils, onions, garlic, leeks. Leeks is a bad one. What's happening? I'm leaking. Sorry, but oats, yeast, radishes, sweet potatoes, which I absolutely love.
Oh my gosh.
Cashews, turnips, and rutabagas.
I didn't hear broccoli, which kind of concerns me.
No, yeah, that surprised me. I figured it would be on there. I knew cauliflower was, but I really did think that broccoli was. But, again, we're just trying to give the facts. We're not, this is just the fun part of the facts. We haven't even got to the names yet. Like I said, you may not have wanted to know any of that. I just thought some of it was hilarious. The same way that when I started reading the names, I was like, you have got to be kidding me. So, BUBBZI, I know we kind of threw this in last minute, but did you find anything that you like? How about some funny names for burps? Burps are funny. I guess it's funny in itself, but what do you got there?
See, I remember.
Well, how did you go with it? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I'm trying to think. Remember the TV show? We watch a bunch of game shows sometimes, but remember when they started doing Guinness World Records on television?
Yes,
like a game show.
Yeah.
The only thing that is like I can think about it was like there was a guy who's like trying to do burp length on there.
Okay.
But while looking for that, did you know that the loudest burp record just got broke in December of last year on 2021?
No.
Yeah.
You're going to tell me how long it is, right?
Well, not the length. I'm talking the loudest.
Oh, okay. Add more decibels.
Yes.
Okay.
And it just got broke. The burp.
So in other words, he broke wind. Sorry.
Yeah. Wait,
okay.
how? Hang on. I'm for reference. I'm going to look up something.
All right, real quick.
Car exhaust decibels. Yeah. I'm going to look this up.
See, we as much fun as we're trying to have with this, we do want to give you some frame of reference. We don't want to think that you wasted your entire hour listening to us talk about arts. We want to give you some relevant information.
Okay.
Right.
So while just looking this up, it's basically a law that says you can't have an exhaust system that emits a noise over 95 decibels.
Okay.
Which I'm assuming is pretty loud.
Yeah, I used to have some mufflers back in the day that blew that out of the water.
Me see Mustang in decibels. Like see like that's like a pretty loud car.
Well, it can be depending on what they have on it. So I think what you're saying.
Okay, so the average Mustang is 72 decibels.
Okay. 72.
This world record burp was 112.4 decibels.
Good night, Irene.
Like, I want to listen to it, but like, bro!
Now, here's the thing. I wonder if they're allowed to drink like Coke or, some kind of soda water or something.
Yes. No. They do root beer.
They do root beer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what you're telling me is he burped 112 decibels. Not only did they hear it in the next town over, they smelled root beer in the next town over.
Probably. It was a Russian man.
Yeah,
Australian.
Rough,
Australian. Of course, it was Australian.
Well, no, I mean, I've heard some people. I mean, if you think about it this way, in a lot of respects, it's easier to sneak out one from behind than it is to burp.
So this is the first time
because usually there's more volume burp wise on some of them, not all of them, some of them. You know what I'm saying?
All right, hang on. I'm actually gonna do this. We're actually gonna listen to it. He's not gonna be able to hear it, but I'm gonna show it and everything on
Are they going to be able to hear it when we put it up?
Yes. So give me 1 second. They can also see it. I can turn it on if they want to see it too.
Well, go ahead.
Let's see. Boop. That's not what I wanted. I need it to be this screen. Here we go. 1 second, boys and girls.
All right. Now, for those of you that are listening, you'll be able to hear it. But if you want to hear it and see it both, then you'll have to jump over to the YouTube channel and watch it that way.
So we're going to just minimize us.
But
here we go.
Before you do that, Buster, before you play it, listen to me. Folks, I want to hear your comments on this, please. So like the video, share the video, and comment and let me know what you think. Because I bet all of us have somebody in our family that we probably think could do better. So, all right, BUBBZI, go ahead, give it a shot.
Here we go.
110.0.
Okay, well, I've muted that again. I am so sorry. Oh my gosh, it was loud. Oh, I'm sending you this link.
All I want to know, did you see him pass along? That's all I want to know.
I thought he was going to yell at somebody, is what it looked like. Here.
Well, there's a new one for the podcast. We just played the loudest burp in the world.
Gosh.
So that's new for us. Now, we're not going to do a search for the loudest fart. I think that would just be wrong in so many ways. But
yeah, but how do you train and prepare for that? Now it has to be considered.
Which end? Which end are you talking about?
Both. Although the fart concerns me more. Like if you think about it,
I'm just going to say it this way: if you're farting 112 decibels, there's more coming out than just air. That's all. I mean, you know the family joke, right? We always tell everybody, said, "Man, I'm just so gassy." I said, "Well, just remember, every time you do that, you're being scriptural." And they're like, "What do you mean?" I said, "This too shall pass." But all right, we need to jump into some of these names, BUBBZI. Before we get, I don't want to get too far out of it before we get some of these. Now, some of these I thought was funny, and some of these I'm not going to use, because I literally found a web page that had 261 different ways that you can say fart. And the worst part is they put them in alphabetical order.
See, like for me, like you classify them like what? Wet, dry, loud, silent.
Yeah. Silent but deadly. See all right. While we're doing that, before we get to the names, let's do this. Answer me this question if you can. Why is it? And I know the name it's kind of in the name, but why is it the ones that you can hear always seem to be less odorous than the silent but deadlies?
I'm thinking tighter rectum, because they're like, I need to get it out, but like they don't want it to make a sound, I guess. I don't know. I just, because, sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. Mm-hmm. But the thing that I found, which I thought was kind of interesting, they say that gas comes from the breaking down in the digestive process. They say that the reason that the silent but deadlies seem to smell worse is because they come from further down in the intestines, and it's some bacterial fermentation in something that made its way through. Therefore, instead of the gas bubbles that make you feel bloated are huge and they just make all the noise in the world, these are smaller bubbles, and when they come out, they're just full of so much more odor than they are just gas. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. And if y'all want to know this, I'll just tell you, hydrogen sulfide is the compound that makes them smell. That's what makes them smell so bad. So, if you've heard any of these, let us know. I'm just curious. What? Go ahead.
Those like.
You still hearing the guy burp?
No. Just like thinking of the smell. Okay, this may freak some or like disturb some people. You know how like they make those sprays now that you put in the toilets that.
Yeah, they call them poopery.
Poopery, yeah. I've heard tales of people who did not read the instructions.
Did you say what? I just thought you heard tales.
Tales.
He made a punny.
Of people who did not read the instructions.
So they sprayed it on instead of in? I would say that would burn.
It does.
A lot.
But now I'm thinking, does it work for gas?
Probably not, because the whole point is it's a layer that when something goes in, it seals across the top. I mean, the gas would probably just make it go, ride the wave.
Yeah, no, people need there's like we were taught in school, like, hey, make sure you read the instructions before you do any of these questions.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's one of the
I'm
things.
One of those
like,
guys that believes firm believer in reading in the instructions. You know that.
Well, I mean, I think I would assume most kids have had one of those tests where it's like, put your name on it. Like if you read the instructions, put your name on it, put your pencil down, and put your head down.
All right, BUBBZI, I'm going to read off a few of these and get your reactions, and hopefully we'll get some reactions in the comments from the people that listen and watch the podcast. But you'll see my reaction because I'm going to put my thumb right here where this muscle seems to hurt the worst and just prepare, because some of them tickle me. You know what I'm saying? And again, it just brings out the small child in me. But I had never heard this particular term used, a one-man salute.
Okay. I'm highly uncomfortable. I don't know why, but I'm like highly uncomfortable.
Okay. I had never heard of this particular terminology before, but I believe I have heard this particular one before. It's called a 7.4 on the rectum scale.
Like I said, I'm highly uncomfortable. I don't know about anybody else who is listening currently to the podcast.
Okay. Now, I mean, like I said, but this is just the funny names. And I want to know what you think. You can't just say you're uncomfortable. You got to help me out here.
I'm uncomfortable.
Okay. How about, this is one of the names for farts. A turd whistling for the right of way.
I'm just hoping there's not a joke about like hailing a taxi somewhere in here.
I wouldn't. It'd have to be good. It'd have to be really good. I'm just saying.
I'm just, instead of like a.
All right. And I don't know. Yeah, I can't do it. But anyway, I don't know if it's a Southern thing or not. So you all have to let me know. But this is the one that I always heard when I was a kid, and I'm sure BUBBZI has heard it a lot. Barking spiders.
Yeah, you've said that a lot in my lifetime.
Did you fall for that when you were little?
I think so. Maybe once.
Did you fall for the, hey, Bubs, come here and pull my finger?
To be honest, I don't think so.
Well, if you did, probably once, but I have to admit, I mean, I'm just me, guys. The beard that you see laughing about all this silliness right now is the beard that is usually 24/7 unless I'm feeling bad. So he got to the point that I would do something and he would look at Mama Beard and go, is she telling the truth?
Yeah.
So.
It's a good thing they love me, because I'm pretty sure she would go at least, no. Like, but they could both be like, yeah, you're telling the truth. This is what you need to do.
Yeah. I like to feel like I can take a little bit of responsibility for his quick wit and his sharp mind, because
he put me through the ringer. He put me through the ringer as a child.
Well, I mean, I know there's going to be one on this list. I'm going to save it till the end, but I know it's not going to. So remind me the one that I said I was going to save till the end in case I don't do it. Now, I don't know if this is accurate or not, but the odor might be burning rubber. You all have got to, you've got to see his facial expressions.
I hope the smell don't smell like that. Bro! No!
Okay.
Why?
Yeah. Well, if that one bothers you, how about cheek flapper?
That was not as bad.
I don't know. The visualization of You know?
Yeah, but
Oh gosh. Okay.
What
do you feel? How do you?
No. Go back to burning rubber. Because first of all, if it smells anything near that, but not even that. Like going with the sound though.
All right. Now I'm going to say this since we're talking about burning rubber. Yeah, the squeak would be.
Like, dude, the squeak would have to be just like.
All right. Now I see. I'm going to put myself out here on this one because I'm just trying. I'm having a good time.
You better not say you've done one of those because I don't believe you.
Am I the only person that's with this podcast, watching, putting it together, whatever, listening, part of the Caffeinated family that has ever been told, and this may be a Kentucky thing, something crawled up in you and died? BUBBZI, I'll take it back. I actually, one fella said, you smell like you've been eating roadkill.
Oh my God. What?
I think I've kind of broke him on this one. He doesn't know what to say.
My big head is just like, toot.
Well, I mean, again, and this is just funny names that we come up with to explain it away. I mean, let's be honest. How many people have been at a gathering and you had to kind of, ease to one side, let one fly a little bit? Somebody smells it. What do? You blame it on the dog.
I thought it was smelled.
The poor dog gets so much unfair treatment. It's like, well, the dog did, wasn't me,
Well, I'm just saying, the dogs, they got some gas of their own.
Oh, yeah. Now, our two dogs, this is the funny thing. All right, we said we were going to tell some funny stories, so we might might as well start adding them in here anyway. It wasn't too long back that we were sitting in the living room. We were watching TV. BUBBZI's sitting on the couch. One of our dogs is up on the back of the couch in front of the air conditioner, butt facing him, right? All of a sudden, I hear, God, what is wrong with you? So she aimed one in his direction is what I'll say. So,
dude, I got up and ran. Like, it wasn't like...
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But,
to calm down for a little bit before we go back to some names, we can cover a little bit of a tech segment, I guess. The boy has a new phone.
You have a technical session to deal with farts? Oh, I mean, he means his new phone. You're telling me they got an app for that?
Well, I mean, it's called a soundboard.
Go ahead, tell them about it.
So, I got the Galaxy Z Fold. Obviously, you got a front screen, but oh my gosh, it folds out into another screen. Let me see if I can just open it real fast. Got all my apps, whatever. I'm a nerd. It's all in folders.
He is a nerd.
It's his fault. It's his fault. I am now addicted to having this phone. I've related it to having a second monitor for the first time. But this is...
For the first time?
Yeah, having a second monitor for the first time.
You've said it more than that.
What?
I'm messing with you. He means having a second monitor for the very first time.
That's what I said.
What I was saying is he said that statement numerous times in this week since he got the phone. But he's still thinking about burning rubber. That's all I know.
Help me. Okay? I'm looking at you, podcast viewer. I'm going to start a GoFundMe. I'm going to need a therapist. I'm going to need a therapist.
Brother, you out of luck. They can't fix genetics.
I'm gonna go to the therapist.
I'm just saying.
I'm just imagining the first meeting with a therapist. So what brings you here? Burning rubber.
She goes, well, if you think that one's bad, how about this one? Firing a stink torpedo.
See, that's where I think like the whole 7 mile thing is, or 7 miles per hour thing is a total like possibly average, but like we both know there's definitely got to be some dude with an outlier spitting out 20 mile per hour pitches.
Gotcha. All right. I need to know if you've heard this one before. A fizzler.
I haven't heard it, but I'm pretty sure I can visualize it, to be honest.
Well, according to what I found, just sharing the information,
I hate that
it is another word for silent but deadly.
All I'm saying, okay, is I'm very concerned for what our search histories are going to be after this. Like, what type of ads do you think we're about to get after this?
Depends.
Like, that was a good one. That was a good one.
Face. Oh.
That was a good one. That right there.
Sorry, for those of you that are not able to see me right now, I'm holding my chest because every time I laugh, it hurts.
That was a good one.
A lot. And
That was a
it's
really
not
good
what
one.
I'm saying that's making me laugh. It's the look on his face after I say it.
That was a really good one. I'm really sad that was so good.
What about Beano?
Possibly they're gonna start putting things up for Drano.
Maybe. All right, I got a couple more. Ready?
No.
This is actually, I think, what they call them, an anagram. Frequency actuated rectal tremor.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't want anything that makes anything back there be a tremor. I'm just saying. No, thank you very much. No.
Okay, everybody knows like those metal seats or the plastic metal seats. Just go. Brrr.
Yeah, exactly. So let's see. I'll give you one more. Let me see if I can find something.
I don't know if I can
else.
handle one more.
Oh, you can do. You're so much better than that.
I'm at high risk.
Oh, I kind of like this one. They say that it comes from South Park, and I'm assuming that how it gets its name is because but it says preventing spontaneous human combustion. If you let the gas out, you can't blow up, right? I'm just saying, right?
I don't know about that one, but
I don't know. It's different, But there, like I said, I found a website.
We know somebody who calls it what, shooting the bunny, whatever. Because
yeah, shooting the bunny. I've always heard from Mama Beard that girls do not fart; they fluff. I don't know where she heard that one, but that So there, that's the thing about it. There can be 1,000 names for something, because like another one, I don't even think we mentioned was air biscuit. I'm not sure how that and something as scrumptious as a biscuit got mixed together. I don't know how that worked.
You know what that means, right?
Go ahead.
It smelled so bad they could taste it.
I guess maybe, but that's just that's worse. But it did taste like rubber.
Stop.
He says, stop mentioning the burnt rubber.
Stop it.
So I put this in here just to see how are we doing on time, by the way, Bubs. I don't mean to.
Sitting at 48 minutes.
We're doing pretty good. Because we've talked about some of the funny names. We've told a few of the funny, embarrassing stories. We all have a few. At least I would assume. And some of them we don't want to talk about. And I understand that because I'm not out to embarrass anybody. I would love to hear some of your funny stories. If you got away with it, if you didn't, whatever the case may be.
The first time you farted in front of your significant other?
Well, let's just be honest. He brings it up, and I was going to bring it up. But when you're that comfortable with somebody, and they're that comfortable with you, you better hang on to them because not everybody's going to be. You know what I'm saying? Because you get hurt if you let one fly at the wrong time with the wrong person. Now, I did remember the story that I was going to tell. This is an embarrassing story, if you want to call it that. I think it's funny. Now, the other two individuals involved in this story, not so much. Years ago, in the Bearded household,
I think I know what you're talking about.
We had a little vehicle called an Oldsmobile Alero. Now, it was a two-seater. Front seats. Two-door coupe. 2 seats in the front, 2 in the back. And the only way to get out of the back seat is you had to lean the front seats forward. You all know what I'm talking about.
By the way, this lever was at the very front of the front seat.
Yeah, at the very front. It was not easy. You could not get to it from the back seat by yourself. You had to have someone let you out, right? So,
as you can tell, I'm talking from personal experience. This was a very
he's talking from very personal experience, and this is probably a very personal story about him. It is, all right. So we went to a place with BUBBZI and Cousin Beard. And they were in the back seat. And I got out and I used one of my preferred names for the passing of gas. And I said, anti-theft device has been deployed. And then I shut the door and left them in the car.
By the way, at this point, this is not like 8 or 10 years old. I'm probably like 14 or 15. I am a very large person at this point.
Yeah.
But getting out of this car was already a difficult task. I think I almost broke the seat trying to get out so fast. Oh my gosh.
Needless to say, I don't usually bring the story up, but that's been years.
Yeah,
and
sure.
years.
You don't usually bring
it up. No, but they still bring it up. Both of them.
Yeah, it was very
traumatic.
Remember
when you did this, or do you remember when he did that?
It was very traumatic. Okay, like I said, I need therapy. I'm gonna start a GoFundMe. It might do me well. Don't know. I might put a therapist out of a job. Who knows?
You're more well-adjusted than you think. But anyway, so, like I said, that really was an embarrassing story. But, I mean, it could be for him, but...
I almost died.
There was cracks in the window and water in the dish. I mean,
No. Plus, my favorite music wasn't even on. You took the keys.
True. Yeah, it was not. It was me.
There was no Queen playing. Like, I might have been okay if Queen was playing. I don't know.
No. So, BUBBZI, do you know of an embarrassing story that you can share?
Well, considering that was going to be the one I was going to go with, no.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't think about that one. So,
I mean, everybody has one of those, like, I was on the wooden bleachers and...
Yeah. Now, I told one about him, so I might as well tell one about myself. And then I've got one that I thought was hilarious. But, have you ever been in a place where you had to be quiet? Like I was in high school in the middle of a test. Everybody's quiet. All you can hear is the pencils on the paper, right? And all of a sudden, your stomach does what your stomach does, always at the wrong moment. Have you ever noticed that? I have that issue quite a lot. My stomach will not cooperate with me. It will turn and do flips and do crazy things that causes me all kinds of trouble at the wrong time every time. So I'm sitting there, my stomach's like, oh, so bad. It's cramping so bad I'm starting to sweat, right? And I'm thinking, I can let this out quietly, And you know how you do? You kind of lean to one side, take a little pressure off. And all of a sudden, in that nice, peaceful test-taking room, it almost sounded like the emergency air horn went off. Everybody started laughing their hind ends off. And luckily, until this moment, anybody that knows me that was there really didn't know it was me until this moment. Because it just was so loud and everybody laughed so much and everybody started moving around. It was easy to blend in. Right?
See, I have a very similar story, but luckily it was not about flatulence.
Oh, okay.
Okay. In school, testing, whatever. It was an end-of-year test, something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was. I just remember I got done with the test. I was in a classroom with one of my favorite teachers. He not only did his job well, but he had a personality. He was funny. He got along with people. I do apologize to him because I was not a homework doer. I just learned how to do the thing, did it well, aced the test. There we go. I don't care about doing homework. I'm not going to do it. But I'm sitting in his room. I finished my test. He's laid up on I'm against the wall on one side. He is against the wall on the other side. I'm staring at him. I'm staring at this dude.
Oh my word, he made eye contact.
It's so deadly quiet. And I like making noises with, like I used to like big beatboxing, impressions, everything like that. staring him face to face, and I make a water drop sound with my mouth, which is done by like pushing your tongue forward so it echoes and using your cheek.
See if you can do it.
Well, I don't know if it'll pick up on recording due to compression issues or everything like that, but basically it looks like this.
Hey, it did.
Okay. Did that, completely quiet room, staring face to face to him as he took a drink of water. Dude, I was spewed it across. And everyone is looking like,
what was that?
and I'm sitting there like, just waving at him. Oh, yeah,
That's
was,
good.
it was
good.
Yeah, not anything to do with flatulence, but making noise in testing room. Yeah, just.
Well, I mean, it's just, again, to me, belching, burping, passing gas, passing wind, farting, whatever terminology you want to put it, it always seems to raise or lower its ugly head, however way you want to say it, and happen when you really don't need it to. Like, you're going into a job interview and your stomach is like, it's just, why now? And I'm assuming it probably has to do with nerves in certain situations and stuff like that, gets the stomach acid churned up and causes problems. But I mean, who knows? It just always seems the most inopportune moments for me. Now, the last funny story, embarrassing story wasn't me. I mean, I shared one about me, and I'm not going to give the guy's name, but I used to play the saxophone in band a lot of years ago.
Please tell me this man did not just fart into a saxophone.
Oh, no. We are all sitting on the stage. We are practicing. In the band director is telling us what, she would like for us to do and how she wants this section to do this and this section to do that. And it's just, it's one of those just lulls in the conversation where everything got quiet. And the only thing I can say is all of a sudden there is this noise somewhat resembling a Tommy gun going off behind everybody. It's like,
Merry Christmas, you filthy.
And I mean, yeah. It scared everybody to death for a minute because, we didn't know what it was because it was really loud. Well, come to find out as we did a little investigating and talking, this young man had one of those embarrassing moments, tried to sneak one out while sitting on a folding metal chair. And all it did was he beat that thing like a snare drum. But, I mean, let's just say it this way, right, Bubs? We didn't talk about burping as much. We've got to, and if you want to do it, we'll talk about it later. I don't care. But they're funny. Mm-hmm. It's funny.
He's funny.
The things that happen can, even when it's us, we may be embarrassed in the moment, but we can look back on it later and laugh. As a kid, I can remember, that pulled my finger gag. I wasn't stupid. I fell for it once and then I knew it was funny. Right. So I wanted, I wanted to laugh. And, one of the funniest things for me right now, and I've showed BUBBZI a few, and I've showed a lot of people a few. They have this stuff that you can buy in a little squirt bottle. And you get these people, they're in their cars, they're making videos, and they're like, man, I really probably shouldn't have had that Mexican, or, I shouldn't have had that truck stop sushi for lunch. My stomach is all tore up. And then they're like, they play 2 or 3 sprays, and the people next to them are like, oh my gosh, what happened to you? It's bad. It's bad. And we've all been there. It happens. It's got, but what I'm saying is you may be embarrassed in the moment. It's going to be okay. It'll pass. No pun intended. It'll pass.
Stop it. Stop it.
Stop what? Stop what?
Making
At least
puns.
I didn't mean,
Stop making puns.
Well, I'm just thinking, is that a can full of burning rubber? You know what I'm saying? But, this is not, I can't give my typical closing thoughts the way I usually do because, I usually try to bring it to a kind of a conclusion and a serious note. And I just don't know how you can be serious about the topic that we had today. Other than to tell everybody that everybody does it, even if they say they don't, especially if they say they don't.
I guess you could call it a fizzler.
A fizzler? Yeah. Yeah, a fizzler. next time your aunt or uncle or whoever, brother or sister, whatever, blames it on the dog, now you'll know. As if you didn't already, right? Because have you ever noticed how embarrassed the dogs look when they didn't really do anything? Like, hey, it wasn't me, man. I don't want. Why you tell me I did it?
I don't know.
So,
our dogs look pretty guilty a lot of the times. So.
Yeah, well, they usually are.
Yeah.
They do some weird stuff, our dogs. I think they have a little bit of separation anxiety. They do not like it when we leave the house and leave them here. And, but both of them are too wild to really take them much, and it is what it is. So, I mean, if it's ever happened to you, I'm sorry, but the embarrassment will pass. If it's ever happened to one of your kids, yeah, they're going to get laughed at. That's going to be, but it'll pass. And again, I'm not trying to be punny. I'm just trying to be straight honest about it. So, and the best thing to do is just laugh at it. I don't mean laugh at them or laugh at the people involved, but just laugh, have fun. Let everybody know that you don't take it that serious, so they don't have to take it that serious. And if something comes up and it embarrasses somebody, then, raise a leg, let one fly, take them out, whatever. I don't know.
How am I supposed to live, laugh, love in these conditions?
Just be careful wearing spandex because you don't want to pass one and watch it run up and down your leg like a mouse. I'm just saying. But
all right, give your socials. This has gone on far too long. Gosh!
I've got to give them visuals to go away with.
Stop! No!
Well, he said give my socials. You all can find me on TikTok, The Caffeinated Beard. You can also find me on Instagram, The Caffeinated Beard. You can also drop comments on this video or the other videos. We try really hard to keep up with them, the ones that do. And, honestly and truthfully, if you really hung in this long about farts, welcome to the family. You stuck one out that, just for the pure silliness of the topic, for the pure silliness, to watch him make faces as he does when we do this stuff when we're not on camera. He made me laugh. He hurt my muscle. You
hurt my head. You hurt my head.
But you know what I'm going to say, guys. If you stayed with us this long, if this is your first time, or you've been here before,
or your last
from this time to the next time, welcome to the family.
Oh gosh. What an episode. Oh my gosh. You can find me at ITSBUBBZI. That's on everything. That's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch. I don't think I have anything else. I don't have like a LinkedIn profile or anything like that. Like, please.
Not that he knows of anyway.
Your resume, here's your LinkedIn, well, I could say
he's tongue-tied.
Dude, I'm gone, bro. I'm faded. Okay. First of all, my facial muscles hurt from laughing. I hope it's the same for you. Now you have topics to talk about with your coworkers or your family, so I hope you enjoyed, because this has been the Caffeinated Podcast. Bye, everybody.